walk out. All these bands I lost count, cause I'm too up right now. Too up right now. I'm too on one day on my third. I was too broke, now I'm too rich.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. With that, let's head inside the Ford Field in Detroit. We're standing by are the two men who will bring you this one, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They've been the talk of the NFL so far. 9 wins in their first 9 games.
And some people subscribe to the theory that a loss might not be the worst thing for them. They've had it easy all year long. How would they do handling adversity?
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the NFL's most valuable player from 2015. It's Cam Newton.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
On first down, it's Newton. Thomas has got it, complete. 23 yards on the play.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't it?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And here now the offense for Carolina.
And it was too bad that last season for Greg Olsen, their tight end, that a foot injury plagued him and limited him to 7 games played, broke his streak of 1,000-yard seasons, but he'll get back in form. One of the best route runners in the league, a combination of strength, guile, smarts, and a little dash of speed.
He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but boy, he knows that.
Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. So here are the Lions now backed up for their first drive. Leading them out at QB is the former North Carolina Tar Heel, Mitchell Trubisky.
And it felt like it watching the game tape. He got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass. So he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. And we look now at the Lions offense.
Jordan Reed's coming off of an injury-plagued season that set him back and held him to just 6 games, and Washington's definitely hoping he can get back to his 2016 Pro Bowl form. That made him one of the most dangerous tight ends in the game, and in fact, when he runs routes, it's often equated to a basketball player with a great crossover move. A lot of guys just can't stick with him.
This one complete to Jordan Reed. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where he, their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. Now it's Trubisky. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this deep on a Carolina side of the field. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Defensively, here are the starters for Carolina. They find themselves just a couple of spots outside of the top 10 defending the pass, number 12 in the league.
So prepping for this game, I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And?
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he'll be out of bounds. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a... First down. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Now from back at the 5, this is 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs, because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. Trubisky keeps it himself, and he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky scoring on the sneak from a yard out, and the Lions are in for 6. Well, there was no secret there. They were in goal line formation. They wanted to pound it in on 4th and goal, and they did just that.
And how about the challenge? That's a challenge to the offensive line, which they eagerly accept. I haven't met a lineman yet that doesn't want to run the ball more than throw it, because they get to fire out and really smack someone. And, boy, they got it done. I'm sure they were encouraging them on the sideline. Let's go, and let's run the ball as well. And they put it in for 6.
Extra point good by Prater, and it's now a 7-0 game. A 10-play drive that time, and it was capped off by the quarterback sneak for 6. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. These two teams, Panthers and Lions, met each other Week 5 in Detroit last year. You did that game, didn't you?
I did, and the Panthers were starting to round into form, especially their quarterback Cam Newton, who had missed most of the preseason with a shoulder injury. He had a big game, 335 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and, boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Prater for the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Here's Newton now on second down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Newton. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism.
And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown, Detroit. Brandon Cooks, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Extra point good by Prater. And that makes the score 21-0. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Manti-Te'o. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Newton. His throw incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, and it'll bring up 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
On the ground, this is Johnson. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on 1st and 2nd down, needing long yardage to try and pick up a 1st down, and they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down, but guess what? It all started with what happened on 1st and 2nd down. Really put them behind the 8 ball.
And this offense led by Mitchell Trubisky going to make their way back out there. He's thrown for a touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown, so they have to count for a guy that can do a little bit of both.
And because of that, that puts the defense back on its heels. Because normally you just think, okay, he's going to throw the ball. Let's tee up.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Detroit. Brandon Cooks with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Lions add on to their lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Prater for the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. 1 play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Time for our players spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
2nd and 10, Newton again. That's Samuel, caught left side. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Newton on third down. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. On 1st and 10, Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Now a first down throw for Newton. And incomplete on the deep ball. Greg Olsen was the intended target. And now it's second down.
Oh, boy, partner, did that just happen? I've got my hand over my eyes right now because, like him, it's going to haunt my dreams, too. He was wide open. How did he overthrow him there?
Defensively, just very lucky. You know that they got away with one there. Newton to throw. Underneath for Johnson. Give him 6 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. To the air again, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
But when it all comes together and you get the field goal block that's been designed, that's been drawn up, everyone has to feel good about it on that side of the ball. How about that one there? To the left side, knew what they had. That's where they wanted to be, and they got their designated guy turned free.
On first down, Trubisky. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll start in the black and blue division. Chicago hosting Minnesota at Soldier Field. And in the second quarter, it's the Vikings who are out on top. Kirk Cousins has fired 3 touchdown passes. Next, let's get over to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Green Bay Packers. 13-10, the final score. In our game, it's been Mitchell Trubisky who's looked sharp thus far. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Around the NFL, second quarter in Chicago. Early on, it's the Vikings in the driver's seat. Kirk Cousins hooking up with his guys early and often. 3 first-half touchdowns. Now Trubisky to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Jordan Reed. Touchdown, Detroit. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Lions have got it on cruise control. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, Those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Prater on to add the extra point. Extra point good by Prater, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
On second down, Johnson. He'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Third and long, it's Newton. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
On second down, here's Newton. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess, and it's third down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Throwing on third down, Newton. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Spins past him. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Well, one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow themselves.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on second and 13. Here's Newton. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's third down. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go.
Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now Prater to add the PAT. Prater for the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head.
And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Panthers on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 19. Play action. It's Newton. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent. And now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And he spins through. Spinning again. And he doesn't quite make it. Taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That one 28 yards on the ground. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A Ezekiel Elliott, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. A great return there of 22 yards. And Detroit getting set to go now. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
Throwing here, Trubisky. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And finally down at the 36-yard line. Fifth catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. K1 short in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Trubisky, and his throw here is incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. The 20. This is caught. It's Cooks. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure.
Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. And he rifles one incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Carolina getting set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Now it's Newton. Dumping it off for Johnson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot.
And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Throwing on 3rd and long. Newton, quick slant, caught by Moore. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Now Newton, and this one complete right side to Funchess. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed. Because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Now Newton on 1st down. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Lions, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year. And now they'll have the short week ahead as they'll host their annual Thanksgiving Day game on Thursday. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.